What's up? How you doing? Here we are. Beautiful night tonight. Beautiful night. Beautiful. Comfortable. Not bad. Having some tea. Just made it. Red rose tea. Delicious. That is so good. That is so good. Good tea. My grandmother liked this brand. Red Rose. So good. Anyway, Sunday, end of the weekend, or the first day of the week, depending on the culture you're from. But Sunday is the first day of the week, Monday, second day of the week. But where I come from, Monday was always, it felt like the first. So today I went and got a new iPhone number 16, and I despise the process. It's not hard, but in my mind, it's like I'm rummaging through my guts. I'm going through my guts with the, they're like, push this, hit that. Do you want this? Do you want that? It's all these questions. Put your password here. Just very, very annoying to me. I wish I can go in there, and this is what I say to them every time I go. Every single year, I say I want the same phone, only the new version, right? That's what I want. I want it with this amount of memory, the exact same thing, only I want it with the updated stuff. And then they start asking me again, oh, you want this, you want that, you want, what color you want? So it just feels like I'm rummaging through my guts the entire time I'm there. What I want is, I want to get in there, I want to say, give me the exact same thing I have, except the updated version. And then I want to hit the yes button, and I want it to transfer all the information from my old phone to the new phone. Once that's done, and I want that to be done within 10 minutes. Once that's done, I want to hit another button that erases all the stuff from the old phone. And then I want them to say, you're done. Here's your phone in a little bag. Go on your way. See you next year. That's what I want. To me, it's like I'm trying to untangle a fishing line. That's what it feels like. And I don't know why it feels that way, but I keep postponing it. It's like, I'll go next week. So I get a new phone once a year. And, every year I think it's going to be a magical camera. And it's a little bit better. But I remember in the old days, meaning like 20 years ago, when I would get a digital camera and it was all fuzzy looking and wasn't that crisp. Now, these things are so good that they compete with a good Nikon. And I don't know who buys these Nikons anymore. I mean, I happen to have one because I prefer those pictures, but for the convenience and the quality you get with an iPhone, you don't look at Nikons anymore or Canons. So I don't know how those companies make money. It's good tea, by the way. So that's what I did today. And at first, I had my phone next to the old phone, the new phone next to the old phone. And it says, do you want to transfer using phone to phone? And I said, that sounds good. Since the phone is here, we'll do it that way. I don't want to think of extra passwords with the iCloud. So I hit yes. And then I look, and it says it's taking 12 hours. I go, 12 hours? So it was so busy in Apple today that you could hardly get anyone to come over fast enough. So finally I got someone over. Very, very nice person, very helpful. And I said, this says 12 hours. Is that accurate? She goes, oh. She goes, did you do phone to phone? I go, yeah. She goes, yeah. I said, what's the faster way? And she goes, the iCloud thing. So I go, okay. So 20 minutes went by and we switched it over. And from iCloud to phone, it was a 25-minute job. So did that, and I'm so happy when it's all done and I walk out of the store. Gets on my nerves. I can't tell you. It's just like, feels like my hair's tangled up. I can't get the comb through. That's what it feels like. It's so frustrating. And then once it's done, I'm like, that was easy. So got a new camera in here. I think it shoots in super slow motion. It's got a 4K 120 frames per second, right? Capture all the little details that you forget with the naked eye. Next they'll put a telescope in here, aim it into the sky, look at the edge of the universe, find out we're in a big box. I don't know, but lately, noisy cars out there. Lately, this whole universe thing has been coming up in my mind a lot. You know, I just find the whole concept strange that we exist, number one, and number two, the weirdness of the universe itself, that there is something rather than nothing. And I've said in other videos, maybe there's no option with the nothing. Maybe that's an impossible situation to have nothing exist, because that doesn't make any sense. But the fact that there's something rather than nothing is, in my mind, you know, weird. Weird. Here we are in this massive thing called the universe. We're in a small section in a galaxy called the Milky Way. And in the Milky Way, right outside that little extension, the finger, we're out here in a little spot on the exterior of the Milky Way. We're not in the center, we're not close to the center, but we're way out here. And we exist, and there's life, this weird thing. Human beings walking around, you know, primates. We look a little bit like gorillas, a lot like gorillas. You know, it's just very strange when I think about it, that we are actually here, that there's such a thing called the universe. And then I think of the opposite. If this didn't exist, that would be even, like, if you had a place where you could think about it, which would be another impossibility. But if there was a place where you could think about that there's nothing, that would be even stranger. But that can't be. So, yeah, there are times when I just sit and I'll read about new things in the universe that have been discovered, like big stars, and it just blows my mind away. And especially the distances. I mean, I think about the speed of light, and even that is dwarfed by the size of the universe. So you have the universe, and then here I am, I flip a switch on, and this light that I turn on, if it were strong enough, would take 43, not million, billion years to get to the other side of the visible edge, or the visible universe, the horizon. There's no edge. Can you imagine that? You flip a switch on and light would take that long to get to that side. 43 billion years that way, 43 billion that way. It's crazy. And if you were to go 43 billion light years that way and stand there and look around, it would look exactly as if you were here looking around. So it's almost like it's endless. And if it's not endless, then you think, what's it held inside of? And then if they say, well, it just fades out, there's no more galaxies, it just becomes open space. Well, even that's weird. Where'd that open space come from? And eventually, doesn't the empty space run out? Yeah, that's why I go out in the desert sometimes and I try to flag down aliens. Give me some answers. Come here, and I have like 5-6 questions. I want to know what the universe is held inside of, or what is it expanding into. I want to know how big it actually is, and I don't want to hear an alien come to me and say, oh, it's infinite. I want to say, go back where you came from. Infinite. And then the game of what's after that, what's after that, what's after that can be played forever. You know, I mean, even if the universe, say the universe is 1 trillion light years across, right? Well, let's say 1 dectillion light years across, or 100 dectillion, any kind of crazy number. Well, eventually you get to that point, and what's after that? And then what's after that, and what's after that? You know, that's why it's weird that we exist. Now, let's say there's nothing after that. Let's say all of a sudden you crash up against some kind of granite feeling structure, like a dome. Okay, give me the jackhammer. I break through. What's after that? You get scientists out there, theoretical physicists. When they can't answer something, they just say, well, there's, nothing. The universe is creating it as it keeps going. From the Big Bang, it's still going. No, it's not. It's not. It's ridiculous. Even the Big Bang, even that sounds asinine to me, to think that there was, this little ball, like let's say it was that big, condensed in this area, and then all of a sudden there was an explosion, and that explosion created what we see today. Let's say trillions of galaxies, quadrillions of stars and all that, they were all in here. Really, who came up with that? They were all in here, in this tight, I don't care what the temperature was of this thing here. Nothing that's as big as what it is out here now could fit inside something this big. And then all of a sudden one day it says, okay, I'm busting out. Now, I think that the universe probably always existed, but new parts of it form with explosions while the other parts are still there. So you may have a new mega explosion that creates another portion of the universe in some empty space that's hundreds of billions of light years from here, something we wouldn't even notice because the light of that explosion would never reach us. And then it just forms a new beginning, new reality, new laws of physics, and sometimes those laws of physics work for life and sometimes they don't. And that's another thing. I would love to find some evidence, like obviously it's going to have to be radio waves, of intelligent life somewhere out there. We cannot be the only momos on this planet, in this universe. There's got to be something. Not that they're not going to look like us. That would be disappointing. You imagine you find life and they look like us. Burt Reynolds. They have to look weird. Something, beyond our imagination. Non-humanoid looking. But to me, the whole existence, our existence, the universe's existence is mind-boggling. We use the word too much, but that's what it is. Ties your mind up in knots. Very hard to comprehend. If you're not thinking about it and you're just concentrating on our reality, our life, then it's, doesn't bother you. But when you start analyzing it and you start thinking about it, go to space.com and you see all the stuff they find there. You know what I saw the other day, yesterday, last night? They got this rock on Mars. Looks like a human head, but it's just a rock. And I was looking at it and I said, here we go again. You're gonna get the conspiracy theorist and they're gonna say, yeah, this is proof there was life there. They made a statue, the head fell off the statue, and there's the head on the ground now. No, it's just a rock that resembles a human head, just like rocks I find at the beach. Sometimes I get a rock and I look at it and I go, I actually have a rock over there that I found like maybe 6 years ago up in Malibu. I was at the beach, and it's like an oval rock, and it's got eyes like the kind of eyes you see when they make alien movies. Big eyes. That's what it looks like. So if that rock was on Mars right now and somebody took a snapshot, like a Polaroid of it, and we saw it, people would say, yeah, that's proof. It's not. It's not. We haven't found anything that is proof for alien life. Nothing. Zero. Even though SETI has been scanning the skies, there's nothing. Nothing. Big goose eggs, big crickets. That's all. Ever since I was little, I was fascinated. When I saw the Close Encounters of a Third Kind movie, I was fascinated with that. Saw that with my father, and I left the theater fascinated. I was like already into that stuff at that age, but then seeing that movie made me even more interested. And then I had a neighbor He was a World War II veteran, and I'd visit him often when I was a kid. He was like Gus the Fireman from Leave It to Beaver for me. So when I was little, I ordered a book called Earth's Hidden Mysteries. And the book came, and it had a section in it about the Bermuda Triangle. We know that's a bunch of bunk. And it had a section in there about aliens, UFOs, things like that. And that's a section I wanted to read. So one night, I went to this neighbor's house, and I said, look what I got. And I knew he was fascinated with that stuff too, because we would have conversations when I was a kid. And then he read the chapter to me. I was little. I sat at the kitchen table, and he got the book and he read the whole thing to me, a short chapter. And he was all into it. But the whole thing is, like, the things they cite in that chapter are all explained away. You know, the missing people. Actually, they used those people in the Close Encounters movie. That was part of the story. Mama's boy going home. So, yeah, that issue has always fascinated me. Life from other planets, other galaxies. And you know there's got to be something out there. We are not the only ones. I have no proof, so I'm going on faith on this one. But just looking at the size of the universe, I would find it very, very strange that we are the only ones that the universe came up with that are alive. Like, this is the only place. No. there's got to be tons of life out there. Most of it is probably like bacterial, you know, that kind of life, microorganisms. But there's got to be places where complex life has evolved, and you have intelligent beings, some of them much smarter than us. I mean, I don't know how smart we are compared to the rest of the universe, because I don't know who they are. But there's got to be something out there. There's got to be something. And if there is, and they see this video, you can come get me. I will come with you. You can give me a ride. We can go different places, show me around, answer some of the questions I have about the universe. And then, if you want, bring me back. But I don't want those experiments done on me. Not interested. And by the way, the abduction stuff that was happening, not happening, but that was popular a few years ago with people saying I was abducted, none of those are true. Those are all nonsense. Are you telling me that aliens with the capability to travel across the galaxy or the universe to come and find us are using primitive weapons, primitive tools to explore the human body? Stuff we were using back when the pyramids were being built, that's what they're using. They came all the way over here. Advanced technology, maybe found a wormhole and they came here quicker. And then they came here to probe human beings in the butt with stuff and then come out with stuff. No. That's human beings making that up to get some attention. Or they're on LSD and they imagined all that stuff. I mean, we have scanners now, MRI machines, that you can put a human being there and check out all the insides without cutting them open. And you're telling me that aliens travel here and they abduct human beings, they take them into a room, they knock them out halfway, and then they start probing them with ancient instruments? I don't think so. That sounds asinine. So, but like I said, you know, I find the whole thing fascinating. A lot of people, they don't think about this stuff. I was talking to this girl one time. She was right here where the table is. We're having a conversation, and we were looking at the night sky, and I said, there's Jupiter, there's Neptune. I pointed all, and she goes, you know what? She goes, I never even think of that stuff in the universe. I guess too busy here concentrating on the problems of Earth to be thinking about the bigger picture. But I always think about the bigger picture. Just think, if you don't exist, you don't know this place is here, right? Pretty obvious. The only way you know it's here is if you're here, if you exist. Like I said, it's obvious, but, you know, if you're not born into this world, reality might as well not exist at all. And who knows how many different realities exist beyond the universe. Maybe there's other places that aren't universe based, totally different realities, but they're not in this, this plane. They're not in this this realm that we're in. In other words, you can't travel any speed to find them because they're not here. And nobody would know about them because you would never be able to find them because they're not part of our, our world, our reality. And when I say that, I mean no matter how far you would be able to travel, no matter how fast, you would never get to them because that's not how you would find them. Get a DeLorean, put a flux capacitor, and go talk to Einstein. Came up with a lot of stuff for a guy of that time to be able to figure out so many things that have been proven to be true. It's not like he came up with this stuff and then, 30 years later, they said, well, we did some testing on his theories and he made all that stuff up. None of it's true. No, all that stuff is true. All that stuff that he came up with math, is true. That was good tea. That was good tea. It's a good looking cup. I was thinking of Michael Landon earlier today. Michael Landon. So I remember when they announced that he had cancer, and I thought, oh, he's 54, kind of old, right? Now I think of that and I go, 54 was not that old at all. Matter of fact, I was pretty young. And I remember watching him on The Tonight Show when he went on there. He was pissed off at the tabloids, and so he went on there, gave a little interview. And then I thought he was going to live a long time. I was in Arizona, and I was in a little town called Williams when Michael Landon died. So I remember going to I was on this road there, and I was kind of hungry, so I was looking for a little, pizza shop, sub shop, something like that. And I found a place, got me a sandwich, and then I was walking back, and I passed by this little, it's like a 7-Eleven or something. And I ended up getting a newspaper. It had Michael Landon in there, and talking about that he died. And then I was watching a baseball game. I watched a baseball game, and then I walked back to my place where I was staying. I was walking through this grass area, and there was grasshoppers just jumping as I was going through. I was thinking of Michael Landon. I go, that guy did a lot. He was on Bonanza, Little Joe Cartwright. Loved that show. Then he was on Little House on the Prairie, Charles Ingalls. Loved that show. When I was a kid, that was a very popular show. That Nelly getting on my nerves constantly. And then Highway to Heaven. Watched a bit of that with that Victor French guy. So, because he did a lot of stuff, I thought he was really, really old back then, even though I knew he was in his 50s. But he wasn't. He was, young guy. So yeah, I was a big fan of his. He did a lot of stuff that I liked. He was Pa on Little House on the Prairie. But, I knew him from Bonanza. When I was a kid, I would get home, and on one of the channels they had Bonanza playing during the daytime. So my mother would be doing lunch or something, and Bonanza would be on television. I'd sit back at the kitchen table watching. And in my house, it wasn't, they didn't know their names. My father did not say, oh, the Cartwrights. They called them Bonanzas. They thought Bonanza was their last name. I go, no. But I like that, and I like Big Valley. Big Valley. Both had awesome theme songs. Big Valley had that big opening. I used to watch that a lot. Very sophisticated. Plus, I'm a big fan of Barbara Stanwyck, one of my favorite actresses. loved Barbara Stanwyck. So I used to watch that a lot. Bonanza was on forever. It was on from the late 50s, I think, to the early 70s. And then Dan Blocker died, and that kind of, pretty much was the end of that. I mean, Pernell Roberts, right? He left, but they were able to survive. And then when Dan Blocker died, then it was kind of done. So that's it for now. Like I said, beautiful night. I think I want to go and make some more tea inside because I don't know, I feel like having more tea. So that's it for now. Ciao.